The council chamber had already sealed itself when Zara Bennett walked in, wearing the same cleaning uniform Minho had fired her in 3 nights earlier. Rain shone on her coat. Minho stared as if the house had produced a ghost. "You were fired." Zara closed the doors behind her. "I noticed." Min Park rose first, then Marcus Reed. One by one, Minho's own commanders bowed to her. Minho remained standing alone. Zara crossed the chamber between the lowered heads and placed a gold seal on the black marble table. "You fired the only person in this house who knew where the real dirt was buried." His jaw tightened. "Who are you?" Zara glanced at the men around him. "That question is 3 nights late." The lights died before he could answer, and the reinforced doors locked with a violent crack. 3 nights earlier, Zara was polishing the restricted corridor outside Minho's study when Vivian Cole kicked the wheel of her trolley. Bottles toppled. Water spread across the black floor. Vivian dragged a frightened young cleaner forward and accused her of stealing Minho's ceremonial seal. Then she emptied Zara's handbag into the puddle as though national security had been hiding beside a packet of cleaning cloths. A brass key, an old photograph, Zara's badge, and a folded African-patterned cloth landed at Vivian's shoes. Vivian lifted the cloth between 2 fingers. "Cleaners are paid to remove dirt, not collect secrets." Zara's eyes dropped to the access card tucked beneath Vivian's sleeve. "Then one of us has misunderstood her job." A guard coughed into his fist, but the laugh still escaped. Vivian's face sharpened. Vivian ordered the guard to search both women. His hand moved toward the younger cleaner's shoulder. Zara caught his wrist before he touched her. She did not squeeze. She did not need to. "Ask her for evidence first." The corridor doors opened behind them. Minho entered with Sera, Min Park, and Seo Taemin, and the staff straightened so quickly that one maid nearly stepped into the spilled water. Vivian spoke before Zara could. She claimed the missing seal had vanished after Zara entered the study. Sera looked at the puddled belongings, then at Zara, with the satisfaction of someone finally finding a stain she could name. "Kneel. Apologize to Mr. Han, and perhaps he will be merciful." Zara released the guard's wrist. Mercy would be more useful after he checks the card under Vivian's sleeve. Minho's gaze moved to Vivian's sleeve, but Sera stepped between them and called Zara's accusation insolence. Minho told Zara to lower her voice. She did the opposite. "Someone has been copying your access patterns for weeks. The thief is not stealing from you. The thief is preparing to replace you." His expression hardened. Zara held his stare. "Your security budget is impressive. It is unfortunate none of it reached your judgment." The corridor stopped breathing. Minho had been challenged by enemies, rivals, and men who wanted his chair. None of them had done it while holding a mop. "You are dismissed." Zara's face did not change. She unclipped her badge, placed it in his open palm, and folded his fingers around it. "You can dismiss the woman holding the mop. That will not clean up the mess." Then she walked past him. At the entrance hall, Zara bent to gather the cloth that had slipped from her purse. Min Park saw the stitched symbol inside it. Loyalty vanished from his face for one dangerous second, replaced by recognition. He turned to the guards. "She leaves untouched." Then he murmured to Marcus Reed, "Keep her alive. Do not let her know." From the corridor, Minho watched them speak and understood only that his second-in-command was hiding something. Minho entered his study with Zara's badge still trapped in his fist. The wall safe stood untouched. Inside, the ceremonial seal rested exactly where it belonged. He lifted it, turned it once, and pressed his thumb against the engraved edge. A thin layer of gold peeled away like cheap paint. The seal was a replica. Zara had warned him before he fired her, and somewhere beyond the estate gates, the only witness who understood the theft was walking away. Zara had already lost her job for refusing to lower her eyes, but the men watching her leave knew something Minho did not. Before that truth steps through his front door, subscribe to Afro Korean Soulmates TV. Every subscription tells us these premium stories are worth bringing to you, and it helps us keep creating unforgettable love stories where power, loyalty, and hidden identities collide. Sera entered the security room carrying footage from the previous midnight. On the monitor, a woman in Zara's uniform crossed the restricted corridor and disappeared beside the study. Taemin enlarged the image and pointed to the cleaning badge. She created the scene so you would fire her before the theft was discovered. Minho studied the figure. The evidence was neat, immediate, and almost too obedient. Before Minho could answer, the estate lost power. Locks clicked open through every floor. Emergency lights flooded the room in red. A new profile appeared across the central screen. Zara Bennett, authorized user, clearance level unrestricted. Sera whispered, "You brought her into your house." Minho looked at Park. Park did not look back. Somewhere inside the estate, a sealed door opened that had remained untouched for 7 years. A surveillance feed showed a masked intruder entering Han Taijun's private archive. The person wore Zara's teal uniform and used Minho's personal code. One gloved hand removed a narrow file, then placed another on the evidence table. The camera froze before the intruder turned. Minho ordered every exit sealed. Park checked the departure log and saw what the others had missed. Zara had left the estate 12 minutes before the blackout. 3 streets away, Zara heard Marcus before she saw him. His shoes kept the same measured distance through the underground parking structure, never rushing, never falling back. She turned between 2 black vehicles and waited beside a concrete pillar. When Marcus entered the gap, Zara already had his wrist pinned against the cold surface. "Samuel Bennett taught you to follow more quietly than that." Marcus stopped resisting. Recognition moved across his face, followed by something Zara had not seen from any Han commander in years. He lowered his head. "Miss Bennett." Zara released him at once. "Never call me that where Minho can hear." A car door closed behind her. Minho stood at the edge of the light, Zara's discarded badge in one hand. "Who exactly did I let into my house?" Minho crossed the parking floor, his attention moving from Marcus's lowered head to Zara's steady face. "Answer me." Zara stepped away from the pillar. "The footage inside your house is false." He asked how she knew. She pointed toward the badge in his hand. "Because the woman on your camera walks like she has never carried a mop and she uses her left hand. I do neither." The man who fired Zara is about to discover why his most feared soldiers will not stand against her. Before the door opens, tell us where you are watching from and what time it is there. Also drop one emoji that describes the decision Minho has made so far. Marcus confirmed Zara had left before the blackout. Minho's suspicion changed shape. Zara admitted entering the estate deliberately to find records connected to Samuel Bennett. Minho knew the name and resented how quickly the name unsettled him. His father had blamed Samuel for the betrayal that destroyed both families. "So you came for revenge?" Zara's mouth tightened. "I came for the truth. Revenge usually dresses better." Minho ordered her back to the estate until the breach was contained. Zara asked whether she was returning as a prisoner or a guest. "You are a security risk." She looked toward the car. "So is your fiancée, but she has better jewelry." Marcus lowered his eyes before the smile escaped. Minho opened the rear door himself, and Zara entered without thanking him. The main doors opened for Zara this time. Staff who had watched her leave through the service entrance stared as she crossed the grand hall beside Minho. Sera waited near the staircase, polished and furious. Staff used the other door. Zara glanced behind her. Then somebody should tell the traitors. They seem to use whichever door pleases them. Vivian tried to slip away while everyone watched Zara. Zara stopped beside her and looked at the sleeve where the access card had been hidden. "Show him your wrist." Vivian produced a different card and called her confused. Madame Han Yejin entered. Her gaze landed on the folded cloth inside Zara's purse, and for one unguarded second, the matriarch looked afraid. In Minho's study, Zara turned the counterfeit seal beneath the desk lamp. Its weight was wrong, and the scratches around the rim did not match ordinary use. She pressed it against a concealed recess beneath the desk, but nothing moved. This was copied from half of something larger. Minho leaned closer. "A seal does not have halves." Zara looked at him. "Neither does a family, until people start lying." Zara explained that the Han and Bennett families once used paired seals to authorize emergency protocols neither bloodline could activate alone. Minho asked who taught her. "My father." He reminded her Samuel had betrayed his. Zara's thumb stopped over the imitation gold. "That is the story your family repeated." Repetition makes a story familiar. It does not make it true. Park avoided both their eyes. Minho stared at the hidden recess in his own desk and understood that Zara knew more about the room than he did. The seal had opened nothing, but it had exposed a larger lock inside the family. Zara watched his certainty strain against the evidence. For once, he did not threaten anyone, including the furniture. Zara pressed along the rear of the built-in cabinet. One section answered with a hollow sound. Minho pulled it forward, revealing a narrow service passage. Dust covered the floor except for fresh footprints. Zara gave him a sideways look. "Your house has secret corridors." Minho stepped inside. "Most old houses do?" "Most old houses are not this dramatic about it." The passage ran behind the formal rooms, narrow enough that Minho's shoulder nearly touched Zara's. Through a viewing gap, they saw the corridor where Vivian had accused her. Zara admitted hearing fragments of private conversations through these walls. Minho asked how many. "Enough to know you threaten people more when tired." "I do not threaten people. You once threatened a lamp." It was flickering. The humor ended at a weakened floorboard. It shifted beneath Zara's shoe, and Minho caught her upper arm before her weight dropped toward the maintenance shaft. His grip was protective and firm. It should have ended there. Instead, neither moved for 1 second too long. Zara looked at his hand. Minho released her as if the contact had accused him. Beyond the broken boards, they found a locked archive door, a torn corner of Sera's burgundy stationery, and fresh dust displaced near the frame. Zara inspected the marks. Minho asked whether Sera had entered the passage. "Somebody wants us to believe that." He almost smiled. "You distrust evidence." Zara stood. "I distrust evidence that arrives wearing perfume and begging to be noticed." Madame Yejin summoned Zara to the conservatory. Rain traced the glass behind them. Yejin confirmed Samuel once saved Taijun's life and helped create the protection agreement between their families. She refused to explain why his name later became synonymous with betrayal. "Leave this house," she warned, "before Minho learns who you are and mistakes the truth for another weapon." Zara asked whether Yejin had known she worked in the estate. The older woman claimed she recognized only the Bennett symbol that evening. Zara saw the lie settle between them. Yejin's composure held, but her fingers tightened around her jade bracelet. "Minho's weakness is not anger," she said. "It is the terror of discovering that someone he trusted made him look foolish." Later, Zara called Gloria from the guest room and locked the door. The moment she mentioned the brass key, Gloria's voice changed. "Do not use it inside Taijun's archive." Zara asked whether Samuel survived the attack 7 years ago. Gloria did not answer. She only said proof of survival could be more dangerous than proof of death. Outside the partially open door, Minho heard every word except the name Zara whispered next. Minho entered before Zara could end the call. She turned with the brass key closed in her palm. He asked which dead man Gloria had been discussing. Zara answered that not every family secret belonged to him. Minho glanced at the telephone. "They become mine when they enter my house." Zara slipped the key into her purse. "That sentence explains several of your problems." They found Vivian in the laundry room feeding copied access schedules into an industrial washer. Zara stopped the machine while Minho shut the door. Vivian claimed she acted alone for money. Zara noticed her eyes returning to the ceiling camera. "No, you are performing for whoever is watching." Minho cut power to the camera, and Vivian's confidence collapsed with it. Vivian admitted someone threatened to expose her brother's debts unless she planted the accusation, copied Zara's uniform, and moved Minho's access card. She still refused to name the person. Then her phone activated by itself. A recorded woman's voice thanked her for completing her role. The device erased its contents. Vivian whispered that the voice belonged to Sera, then added, "But Sera was taking orders too." Sera hosted dinner that evening as though nobody had attempted to steal an organization before dessert. Zara entered in her cleaning uniform because Sera refused to provide guest clothing. Every place was set except hers. Sera indicated the staff corridor. Zara pulled out an unused chair. "The loyalty is seated elsewhere too, but nobody seems concerned." Minho hid his reaction behind his glass. Taemin praised Minho's leadership with the careful warmth of a man already measuring the office curtains. Zara noticed him exchange a glance with Sera whenever Park spoke. Minho noticed Zara noticing. Their eyes met across the table, and for 1 second they understood each other without argument. Then Sera asked whether cleaners were now invited to private dinners. Minho answered, Only the observant ones. In the adjoining preparation room, Zara found revised council folders, rolled documents, and framed portraits turned toward the wall. One canvas showed Taman posed like a leader trying to remember where leadership came from. The seating chart removed Minho's chair and placed Taman at the head beside Sera. Zara examined it. They reorganized the furniture before completing the betrayal. Minho studied Taman's portrait. Not even his good side. The documents scheduled an emergency vote for the following night. Prepared speeches accused Minho of losing protected accounts and allowing an enemy heir into the estate. Zara's name appeared in the accusation, but the papers described powers connected to the Bennett seal that she had never seen. Someone had given Taman access to rules older than Minho's leadership and more dangerous than any weapon in the house. Minho ordered Park into his private office and placed Zara's employment file on the desk. Park had approved it 4 months earlier. He did not deny anything. Tajan had instructed him 7 years ago to protect Samuel Bennett's surviving heir and bring her into the estate when the old seal resurfaced. Minho's voice became quiet. "You obeyed my dead father and lied to your living leader." Park produced an encrypted message sent 6 months earlier using Tajan's private code. The order named Zara, described the Bennett symbol, and instructed Park to keep Minho unaware until the threat inside the family revealed itself. Minho read it twice. Zara stared at Park. She believed Gloria found the cleaning position through an ordinary agency. Park's protection had been real, but so had the manipulation. Minho turned on Zara. Every hidden corridor, guarded answer, and private warning became suspicious again. Zara reminded him each warning had proved true. "You keep calling me a cleaner as though it is an insult. I cleaned your floors. I did not surrender my intelligence at the door." Minho looked wounded before anger covered it. He ordered her out for the second time. Rain struck the front steps hard enough to turn the stone black. Zara walked toward the drive, but Minho followed. He demanded the truth about Gloria's warning and Samuel's survival. Zara refused to offer proof she did not possess. Minho accused her of studying his habits, earning his trust, and using his interest in her as part of the mission. That accusation hurt more than the dismissal. Zara faced him in the rain. "I came to clear my father's name. I did not expect you to become part of what I wanted to protect." Minho's anger faltered. For one breath, he looked ready to ask her to stay. Pride arrived first. Zara placed the counterfeit seal in his hand. "I am trying to save the house. You happen to be standing in it." Then she left. Minho remained on the steps, with the false seal in one hand and Zara's badge in his pocket. Inside, Sera waited with sympathy prepared like a speech. She said Zara had divided him from Park and made him doubt everyone loyal to him. Taman recommended an emergency council vote. Minho agreed publicly, then privately ordered Park to trace every location from which Tajan's message could have been sent. Zara reached Gloria's apartment with Marcus following openly. Gloria denied everything until Zara placed the brass key on the table. "You let me mourn a man you knew might be alive." Gloria's face broke. She opened a locked cabinet and removed a sealed wooden case Samuel had left behind. His instruction was precise. Zara could open it only when both families were already at war. The brass key turned inside the case. A photograph rested beneath folded cloth, its image facing down. Gloria warned Zara that searching for Samuel had already activated forces she did not understand. Marcus closed the curtains and checked the hallway. Zara lifted the photograph carefully, knowing whatever waited on the other side would destroy the story she believed or prove it had always been a lie. Samuel Bennett stood in the photograph beside a weathered stone building. A newspaper in the background carried a date 3 years after his official death. In the reflection of a parked car, Han Tajan appeared beside him. Zara's knees nearly failed. Marcus recognized the location as an abandoned Han safe house outside Seoul. On the back, one sentence appeared: "When both sons fail, the first fathers return." Gloria admitted the photograph arrived 2 years earlier with a warning that searching for Samuel would activate the old succession agreement. From the cabinet, she removed the real ceremonial seal. Marcus received an urgent message. Taman had moved the emergency vote forward. It would begin within the hour. Zara closed her fingers around the seal. Grief could wait. Minho was about to lose his command before he learned who had arranged the loss. The emergency council began without Zara. Taman stood beside Sera and presented account records, duplicated orders, and footage showing the Bennett heir inside Minho's restricted corridors. He described Minho as compromised by secrecy, divided loyalty, and personal attachment. The accusation was delivered with polished concern, as though removing a man from his own organization were merely an unpleasant item between dinner and coffee. Taman invoked a dormant clause, allowing commanders to suspend a leader who endangered the organization. Park examined the documents and found the requirement he feared most. The decision needed authorization from the Bennett Guardian. Sera produced a copied seal and a prepared approval bearing Zara's identity. Minho recognized the trap. If he attacked Taman, he proved instability. If he remained still, procedure would remove him politely. Minho asked the commanders whether any of them had spoken directly with Zara. Nobody answered. Sera claimed Zara had entered the estate to study his weaknesses and had used his attraction to divide him from Park. Minho did not deny the attraction. He challenged the evidence instead. Taman called for the final vote. One commander raised his hand, then another. The room began abandoning Minho, one careful gesture at a time. Outside, Zara crossed the rain-soaked drive with Marcus beside her. The outer guards saw the real seal and opened the doors without challenge. She entered through the grand hall while alarms pulsed beneath the floor. Staff pressed themselves against the walls. Zara did not slow. 3 nights earlier, the uniform had made her invisible. Now the same uniform moved through the estate like an accusation nobody could pretend not to see. The council doors opened before Taman completed the count. Minho looked up. Rain darkened Zara's coat, and the real seal rested in her hand. "You were fired." Zara closed the doors behind her. "I noticed. Your men apparently missed the announcement." Park stood first and bowed. Marcus followed. Then every senior commander lowered his head. Minho remained standing alone as the title's promise returned with its meaning finally within reach. Zara placed the real seal on the table. The chamber lights failed, the doors locked, and the leadership transfer protocol activated under Minho's authorization. Zara fitted the brass key into the seal and turned it inside the table recess. The system stopped before the transfer completed. "Your father built a lock that required 2 families, she told Minho. "Someone has spent 7 years making sure we would open it for them." Zara presented Vivian's confession, the copied uniform, the altered footage, and the account trail linking Sera and Taman. Park confirmed that protected funds had moved into a holding company they controlled together. Taman insisted he never planned Minho's death. He wanted only to remove a leader whose bloodline had given him power without proving he deserved it. His resentment was genuine. So was his confidence that he had planned everything. Zara turned the prepared portrait toward the commanders. "You protected the organization by ordering new wall decorations?" Minho studied Taman's carefully posed face. "It is not even his good side." A few commanders failed to hide their laughter. Taman's authority cracked. Sera's expression did not. She watched the room like someone waiting for a different performance to begin. The forged Bennett approval used the phrase duty before blood. Zara placed it beside Samuel's old instructions. "My father never wrote that." She revealed the rule he taught her as a child, truth before blood. Park compared the seal impressions and confirmed the forgery. Zara suspended Taman's command and ordered the doors guarded. For the first time that night, the council looked toward Minho without assuming he had already lost. Taman made one final attempt. Zara had still deceived Minho, entered under a false role, and hidden her bloodline. The commanders waited for Minho's decision. He walked around the table and stopped before her. Then Minho, who had demanded lowered eyes from everyone around him, lowered his own head. "Certainty created this disaster," he said. "I trust her." The commanders bowed again, this time following his choice rather than replacing it. Zara's authority became official under what both of them believed was the protection agreement. She stopped Sera from leaving and suspended the takeover. Minho stood beside her, close enough that their hands nearly touched on the table. Zara asked quietly whether he was certain. "No," he answered. "That is why this matters." Relief entered her face, followed by something warmer neither of them had time to name. Sera began laughing. She told Zara that exposing her and Taman changed nothing because they had never been expected to win. Their role was to isolate Minho, restore Zara as Bennett Guardian, and gather every commander inside one locked room. Taman stared at her, realizing he had been another prepared chair in somebody else's arrangement. Zara demanded the sponsor's name. Sera answered, the first fathers. The doors unlocked by themselves. Han Taejun entered the chamber alive. 7 years of grief, rage, and revenge emptied from Minho's face at once, leaving him almost young. Taejun was older, silver threaded through his hair, the scar at his temple unmistakable. Park understood that the encrypted orders had been genuine. Yejin's expression revealed she had suspected survival. Taejun looked past his son toward the bowed commanders. A dead man can see which mourners are pretending. A second man stepped in behind Taejun. Samuel Bennett was older, scarred, and alive. Zara moved toward him before thought could stop her. Samuel raised one hand. "You did well." She asked why he never came home. He looked at Minho instead. "You made him trust you." Zara shook her head, but Samuel removed a second ceremonial seal from his coat and placed it beside hers. The two seals connected into one complete symbol. Taejun revealed the clause neither Zara nor Minho had seen. The Bennett heir did not merely guard a compromised Han leader. Once the commanders recognized her and the Han leader bowed, command transferred permanently. Taejun faced his son. "The agreement never made Zara your guardian." He turned to Zara. "It made her your replacement." The commanders straightened and moved between Minho and every exit. Zara reached for Minho, but Samuel stopped her. "Do not save the man we sent you there to destroy." She swore nobody had sent her. A hidden speaker activated. Zara's own voice began listing Minho's routines, weaknesses, and growing trust in her. She had never made the recording. Minho looked at her as every private moment became evidence. The lights went black. Zara's hand closed around his wrist. Taejun ordered, "Remove my son. Comment the one word that describes Zara right now."